How did that first meeting with Kurt Angle go down? How did Kurt Angle get you into pro wrestling?
Well, when so amateur wrestling and pro wrestlers kind of have this
Yeah.
before it's been it's the relationship has been different. It's been changed up to now. But when Kurt came, I was at the Olympic Training Center training. We were getting ready. We were getting ready for World Team Trials, so it was a big event that we were getting ready for. And Kurt was doing a vignette with WWE, and he came down, and when he was doing it, he wanted to just go through practice with us. So he was running with us, drilling and everything like that off to the side. And then, Kurt was just kind of like going around some of the people he knew. I never met Kurt, but I was a wrestling fan, a pro wrestling fan. And sometimes in the amateur rankings, you got to be a little quiet with that. But I knew Kurt because the cool thing about Kurt was when I was in high school, he was in college. And when I was in high school, I watched his video where he wrestled Sylvester Terkay. And it was like big it was on TV. All they were doing is talking about Sylvester Terkay, how great he was. And they were talking about Kurt Angle's like the underdog in this match. And it was a great match. It was one that I recorded on VHS tapes. If we look how far back that was, I remember watching it then. So I knew Kurt then, and I looked up to him because how tough he was and how hard he fought and how much he trained. And they talked about his story a little bit. And I was like, that's me. Like I'm a workout training aholic. Like I love to train and get ready for things. It motivates me. So I was a big fan of his when I was in high school, and he was in college wrestling. And then I moved up to college, and he moved to WWE. And then I watched him, and I saw some of the matches he was doing. And I was a pro wrestling fan before. And when I watched him come up, he was doing like amateur wrestling in a pro wrestling world, but he was able to mix the two. And I was like, man, he's incredible. Some of the matches he had with Eddie Guerrero and some of the other people that he wrestled with, Brock, and some of the other big matches that he had, I was like, man, I love the style, So now when he was out there, I'm at the Olympic Training Center, he comes back, and I was like, this is the kid. Like I was a huge fan of him for 10 years ago. So I was like, man, this is awesome. And then he came to me and he was like, bro, he said, man, you got a pretty good look.